Hello paddlers, welcome back to my channel. This will be the last part of the mini series of what I'm taking to Scotland with me, and this is going to be packing everything into the boat. Now, I don't know if anyone noticed this morning, I posted a quick little thing on the community page saying, damn it, I've deleted the video. What I was doing is I'd gone into the video, I'd watched it again myself, and about the last 5 minutes I thought, I'm waffling, you get me, I'll delete that bit, the last 5 minutes. So I went into YouTube editor, went to cut it, and I cut the wrong bit, so I've deleted the entire video. I blame Patrick from Air on the Water. I was chatting to him at the same, my fault obviously, doing two things at once on the same channel on YouTube. I started answering Patrick's question, and then I went back and I clicked cut, and I cut the wrong bit, and I've cut the entire video basically. So there's the last 5 minutes which I've chucked away anyway. However, I did have I thought I had all the clips that I'd made the video with, but it turns out all I've got is about the first, shall we say, 10 minutes of the video, which actually is a good bit because it shows you this special dry bag I'm using for my sleeping bag. It's like a special dry bag, so you might find that interesting. Right, but I am not going to remake the entire video, right, because I'll basically tell you, right, do's and don'ts now and what was actually in the video. When you're packing, you'll be interested to know all the gear you've seen previously, minus a few little bits. Like you noticed I had them 2 tents. I had my normal 2-person tent, and I had like my emergency shelter tent. I was hoping to take that as well, but I won't be able to, just not enough room. Even though it's real light, just not enough room. And there's a couple of bit, like I'm not taking that axe, would have been nice, made life a bit easier, but not a necessity. And there's a couple of other bits I've left out, but 99% of everything you've seen in the videos fits into the boat fine. And the maximum weight limit of the boat, I've kept it £50, well a bit more actually, but below £50 less than the maximum. So the weight's fine, everything's fine. But what you need to do is, if you're doing something like this, and if you've never done out like this before, I'm just trying to think about what I said in the actual video, right? Get yourself lots and lots of small dry bags, right? Them great big giant 60, 80 litre dry bags are fantastic if you're in a canoe or something, or if you're just going for a day trip, right? But if you're multi-camping, multi-day camping, get lots of little dry bags. You'll get them in your boat easier, because squashing little things in is much easier. You put one big bag in, that's it, your boat's full there. And if you want to get something out, you know damn well it's going to be at the bottom of that bag, so you're going to have to take everything out. So you want lots and lots of little dry bags to put all your gear in. Once you've got all your gear packed, I'm trying to remember the video. Once you've got all your gear packed, if you can, get some fishing scales or something to try and put the gear into separate bags to try and weigh it out, because you want roughly the equal amount of weight in both ends of the kayak. You don't want, let's just say, £200 over here and £10 over there. You get me? Boat's gonna alright, so you want to distribute the weight and spread it out, and that's really important. What I'll have to do is just mention these sort of things when I'm actually on the trip, because I'm not going to remake the video, just in case anyone's interested, right? And also, for getting your gear out of the boat at the end of when you've got to where you want to be, you're going to pitch your tent, for getting the gear out. You get your boat onto, let's just say, the shoreline, right? Don't drag a full boat, a fully loaded boat. Never, ever. I don't care what boat it is. You shouldn't even do it with a canoe, right? You want to empty the boat first, take your gear to where you want to be, then go back and get your boat. So it's best to have at least one big bag, just an empty bag. I don't mean a dry bag, just like a sports bag or something. Just to chuck your little dry bags in, just to carry up to your camping spot, then go back and get the rest of them. Right? You don't want to be dragging a fully laden boat ever. Well, no, so I'm going to have to explain more if anyone's interested. If there's any particular questions, please leave a comment and then I'll know what to talk about actually on my trip. But for now, there's what I've just told you about spreading the weight, and there's this basically 10-minute bit of the video, right, where it's a quick little chat, but I'm showing you this, you may have seen them before, this like a special style dry bag to get things like sleeping bags and stuff like that in. It's quite clever actually. Well, it's not exactly clever, but it's a good idea. There you go. I can't get my words out. I'm a little bit annoyed with myself. Alright, still. But yeah, so I'm trying to get this done now so I can get it all re-edited and posted again. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there and just leave you with this little bit of the video that I've got left that I actually happen to save. Okay, and if there's any questions, just leave a comment. But oh, you'd be interested to know, I think I've just mentioned this, I did get everything, oh yeah, I mentioned it, I got everything in, I had to leave a couple of bits out. Yeah, so spread the weight out, lots of small dry bags, right, I don't mean, you know what I mean, lots of smaller, like 5 litre dry bags to get your gear in, and spread the weight out along the boat. And if I'll mention this, if your boat, let's say the maximum capacity, let's just say £200, maximum capacity £200, don't forget that includes you. I don't mean it'll hold £200 and you, right? It means it holds £200 altogether, right? You see, the Kayak is £300. So knowing my weight and how much I can put in it. So don't forget that as well. That's something else I did mention. So I think I've roughly covered what I've deleted, apart from without you actually seeing it. So I'll leave you with the start of the video, the one bit that didn't get deleted. Well, it did get deleted, but I actually had a backup of it, but everything else is gone. And I'll leave it there, and the next video you see will be actually the camping videos. Okay, well, the next video in this series will be the camping videos, right, because I'm not going for a couple of months yet. It's end of June when I go. Yeah, end of June. I probably mentioned that about 10 times in different videos, but still. Okay then, paddlers, watch this little clip and I hope you enjoy, and I'll catch you later. And sorry about the mix up and the mess up and me screwing up, but it happens, no point worrying about it. Okay then, cheers. Okay then, paddlers, this is the video I haven't been looking forward to. Trying to figure out, because it's so constricted in here. But I'm making this now, even though I'm not going for a couple of months, because as I mentioned in my last video, my plans have been put back to the end of June now. But I thought I'll do this early, right? Because it's just what is that? I can't see from here. 13th of April. But I thought I'll do it early so I can decide exactly what I am taking, what will fit, what won't fit, because as I've said in a couple of previous videos, I may not be taking everything. Some things I will, some things I won't. Right, so getting everything packed, how it's going to work, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. Right, you have to imagine the front of the boat is here. I can't put my full kayak up in here for obvious reasons. Just imagine the front of the boat is here. Now, nothing's going to go in the front of the boat anyhow. Right? The only one thing that'll be going in, shall we say, the seating area, is just behind the seat. There's a big space, and I'll be putting, which I can't show you because I'm using a lot of the gear, all my camera gear will be going into one particular, these are all dry bags, collecting dry bags for years. This one particular dry bag, which also doubles up as a rucksack, but it opens up really wide, if you know what I mean. Apart from the tripod, all my electrical gear, everything you saw in that video will fit into this bag. I've checked it, it fits. And this fits nice and neatly behind my seat, and I can also clip it in, so if I do capsize, you know what I mean, it's not going to fall out and float away. But I can't show you that going behind the seat, because as I said, I'm using half the gear now to make this video. Right, but this bag, I'm not going to show you a bag, but this bag is for all my camera gear and exactly what I've just explained to you. Right, I'm not going to discuss every single bag as I do this, because this video is going to last long enough as it is. Right, I'm just showing you these two particular ones. I picked up this, right, it had a belt connected to it, right, and the whole idea is you put anything, whatever, roll it up, and in case you're going out in the rain or a swim or whatever, right. But I took the belt off and put a little carabiner on just to clip on my deck bag, because I thought that'll be handy just to keep some food, some nibbles in that I can get at real quick, real easy, right, and just have it clipped on top of my deck bag. You know what I mean? So they're the two bags I'm just explaining to you. The rest of them, the dry bags, right? Most of them are see-through, right? But they're very, very strong. Don't be put off just because they're see-through. It's so that when you're actually getting gear out and about, you don't actually have to open every single bag. You can look through, you can basically see what's in your bags. In most of them, I have got some solid dry bags, obviously. Right. While we're talking about things like this, with a kayak, it's best to have multiple smaller bags. Right. At the bottom of here, which I'm not going to drag out, I've got 2 or 3 big 60, 80 litre dry bags, which I've never put in a boat. But they're great for like storage and stuff. Now they're great for if you're on, like, if you're using like a canoe or something like that. But huge dry bags that you put all your stuff in are pretty pointless, right, for in a kayak, right, really. Right, one, it's going to be a bugger trying to get them in the hatch, right. Plus two, you take this huge dry bag out, and all your gear's in it, and you have to unpack every single thing to get out the one thing you wanted that's fell to the bottom. So multiples of smaller dry bags is the way to go, right? And 1 or 2 bigger ones, which you'll see in a minute. Okay then, right, so you're using your imagination. The middle of the boat's there, the seating area. Never have anything in there apart from behind the seat, which we've discussed. You'll have to use your imagination that here, when I put stuff in, if it hangs out, if something hangs out a little bit, right, just use your imagination, because there'll be a bulkhead here. When this is all connected up, that's a solid wall there and a solid wall at this side, and the bow and stern, right, you've got a little bit extra room, right. I could have connected them all actually, but what's the point? So if something sticks out the bow or the stern, right, front or the back, don't worry about it, because that's where the nose and the back end would be anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you're going to have to use your imagination a little bit, because I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for me, but at the same time show you, because I know a few people have asked about this part, how are you going to get it all in and stuff. Making the video is going to be the hardest bit. So anyway, right, let's deal with things like this bag. This, I'm not going to talk about every single thing, by the way. This is just an example. Things that don't need to go into a dry bag. This is that bucket I showed you. I don't need to go in a dry. If it gets wet, so bloody what? It's a bucket. That's not going in a dry bag. Like my camping chair, right? I'm not putting this in a dry bag. I don't care if it gets wet. If something happens and the bag gets wet and the chair gets wet, so what? I'll set it up, right? Leave it out. Hopefully we'll get some sunshine and it'll dry. So there'll be certain things you don't need to put into dry bags, right? But the only way to do this is to get going. And what I'll do a lot of jump shots. I'm gonna have to, or this video could take me 2.5 hours to sort out exactly what I'm taking, and packing it. So I'll talk to you through it, but there'll be a lot of jump shots. So anyway, let's start off. Let's get some gear and see where we're going, because as I pack it into the dry bags, I'm not going to pack it straight into the boat. I want to balance the weight out, if you know what I mean, to make sure roughly the same amount of weight goes in the same amount of area. So the first thing I'm going to do to make some room, in case you're wondering, this is just some skid keel protection tape I've put on to protect the keel. Alright, okay, so let's just make a bit of room there, because we're not putting it straight into the kayak this second anyway, so we'll come back to that. Now, I'm not going to show you. This is how you take a dry bag, you open it up, right, then you put something inside. No, right, you're not stupid, right? I'm going to pack some of this gear, right, and do a jump shot, come back when a lot of it's packed, right? Because the main thing I know people have asked is how are you going to get it into your boat, and you'll be surprised. But the one thing I am going to show you me pack, right? I got 2 of these, one for my tent and one for my sleeping bag and stuff, right? And it looks like a flotation device that you put in certain boats to stop them from flooding, which I suppose you could use it for that. But it's actually a dry bag with a twist. Get it? See that twist? But so I will show you this. In fact, we'll start with this, and I'll be using that for my sleeping bag. So let me dig out my sleeping bag. In one of these, no, that's tent stuff. There's a sleeping bag in here somewhere. There it is. Now, yes, I could put that in the boat, but it's a bit chunky. So, where are we? There we are. So I will show you that if we get a bit of noise, I'll stop talking at certain times, because you probably won't hear me with all the, you know what I mean, the rattling and the creaking. But just getting my sleeping bag out to show you these particular dry bags, because they're fantastic. This is not a winter sleeping bag. They call that like a 4-season, spring, summer, autumn, winter. This is, it's sold as a 3-season, spring, summer and autumn. Right? But personally, I'd be thinking more of a spring, summer, but for autumn you'd want something inside it. But if you've been following along, you already know I've got, what you call it, a fleece liner to go inside this, because I like, as I've said, to sleep au natural. I'm not going to leave links to everything. If you want to know more right, drop us a comment if you say, oh, where do you get that from, for whatever reason. But I got an extra wide sleeping bag here. I like to move about and not get thrown about. Okay then, right, let me show you this. This obviously fluffs up. But this is the dry bag, and why I'm using this and not just leaving it in that bag. Most of these dry bags are from Lobo, by the way, because they're a fantastic company. I use a lot of their gear. I am not affiliated with them. I've got no affiliation links, and they never ever send me anything for free, even though I'm always seeing how good their stuff is. Right, and it's just a case of to get the sleeping bag in. Getting old. Start squashing into the bag. There's a twist to this, and you'll see what it is in a moment. But I'm going to stop talking now because this bit will be noisy on the mic. I will say, well, this is the first time I've actually done this. I did it with a blanket just to test the actual dry bag, but I've never put the sleeping bag in here, so I hope it fits after all that waffle. But I know it will, because I've seen the adverts. I've seen it advertised. It's just a case of get on with it. Now I know what you're thinking, that's 10 times bulkier than when it was in its own little bag. Bear with me. This will actually be easier when I'm camping, because I'll be able to stand up and push this in, but I'm doing it down here so you can see everything basically. Now somebody's saying, why don't you just adjust the camera then and stand up? Because I didn't think of that until just this second. Right, that's it. That wasn't too bad, I suppose. Right, now it's a case of putting. No, the flap goes on the inside, George, you idiot. That's why it's a waterproof flap, you plonker. I'm trying to keep this in shot. Don't know why. No, the flap goes on the outside. Of course it does. Yeah, the flap goes on the out. There you go. That little flap goes on the outside. And then I'll turn that around. Need to push that down a little bit more. Now here's where the magic happens. That's a valve. I'll shut the valve off. And it's like one of them vacuum bags. You get me? You can connect a vacuum cleaner to that to suck all the air out, but I wouldn't have a vacuum cleaner with me while camping. So, but no, as you can see now, nice and thin, which means I'll use the smaller one to give an example. Because I've got two of them, one for my sleeping bag and one for the tent. But yeah, now Could have done to got a bit more air out of that, but now get it in there. Yeah, could do to get a bit more air out of that, which I can. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of room still. Well, there's loads of room left in there now for smaller bags. I could get another one of them in there. Alright, but there's loads of room now, and you have to think there would be a bulkhead there, but you can imagine all this extra room. Hope you can see that from this angle. But yeah, so these little dry bag things, I should have just cheated and put it in there. Hey, look how easy it is to put in the boat. You see, I won't have that option, obviously, because the boat will be put together when I put that in. But yeah, so could do to get a bit more air out of that. I'll tell you what, if you had two people, one sitting on each end, you'd get this really flat. There. Right, but yeah, hope you can see how thin that's gone. So that fitting in is perfect for my sleeping bag. Whew, got a sweat on doing that. Now you have to use your imagination. And like I said, I've got two of them, and my tent is going in the other one. I'll probably get an extra couple of bits in there, because sleeping bag naturally wants to fluff up with the down inside, doesn't it? Right, so that's why that was a bit harder to squash, whereas tent will just go flat and put a couple of extra bits and pieces, maybe my trousers or t-shirts, you know what I mean. Actually, I might even just put the footprint in there with the tarp. So I'll get the tent, the tarp and the footprint all in one of them bags, and it'll just slide in the bottom, ready to get the rest of the stuff filled up in. I did want to show you that though, because a lot of you might never have seen it, and bloody good. You know what I mean? You can get quite a bit of stuff in. I will mention, I've already told you these see-through ones. I have got more solidy one, but I have got quite a few. I've got some smaller ones for obviously smaller stuff, medium-ish size ones. That's another medium. Some bigger ones, you get me, and then obviously I've got normal dry bags, right, but small-ish ones to get stuff in. And well, I've got a lot of dry bags, right, and it's just a case of now I'm going to start packing some stuff. You've already seen the stuff, you don't need to see me put it into bags, that'll bore you. I'll start packing some stuff once it's all packed and stuff. I'll come back to you and explain basically how we're going to get it in and weight distribution, but you probably just guessed that already. Okay then, let's do a jump shot. I hope I bloody press record after all that.